Good morning. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony Show. My name is Anthony.
I'm Carla Marie.
And as Carla Marie reads the chat, because people are guessing from the countdown who our special guest is. And as you can see on the list, the first thing we're going to discuss is our special guest. We've also got Geography is Hard, which is something I have learned. The world does not know geography very well.
No.
And I've learned that over the past couple days. Penny eating kitties, like children, not
Kids.
kitties. Carla Marie has that. Exploring America, brought to us by our special guest. And of course, there is a new episode of the Morning Show podcast, which you can listen to wherever you get your shows. Carla Marie.
Yes.
Would you like to introduce our guest?
Is the guest going to scoot in or are you going to switch the camera?
I can switch the camera.
Well,
Let
they
me
need
see
to
if I
scoot
got
in
it right.
anyway. Our special guest today from Elvis Duran and the Morning Show is Miss Diamond.
There we go.
Yay! Anthony, you're not.
I'll be in the shot later. Don't worry about me.
Okay.
I'll move it a little bit. See, we could do this
Here,
now.
come on. There we
Boom.
go.
No,
There
we're
we go.
good, guys. We're
Okay.
good.
Oh my God, love Diamond. Look.
Nice, hi.
So
Someone guessed it. Z from NYC guessed it,
that's
apparently.
too funny. So Diamond works at Elvis Duran in the Morning Show, which is where Anthony and I worked before moving here over 7 years ago. And Diamond has the job that I had, but there was someone in between us, Yuritsa. So we have never worked together.
Never.
I was actually thinking this right before we got on air. I feel like through listening to the show, from knowing people that know Diamond, from social media, all of that stuff, I feel like I've known you for so long.
Like I forget
when in reality,
that we didn't work together.
I think I've only seen you three times in my whole life.
Including
Yeah. Which, Elvis's wedding, I think, was the first. You were there, right?
Yeah.
Is her mic on?
Oh, shit. There it is.
Oh, hi.
Yeah,
The wedding?
Elvis's wedding would have been the first time.
Yeah.
Maybe
No.
2 times in New York.
Yeah.
We definitely
Yeah.
saw her before Elvis's wedding.
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
Mm-mm.
Because you didn't start that much before Elvis's wedding, right?
No. Well, January.
So let's say maybe,
Yeah.
if we're being generous, 5 times.
Yes.
Including
That's
today.
insane. Including today.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That is crazy.
But I feel like I know you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is one of the cool parts about not only social media, but the weird radio fraternity family, especially at Z100. Like I said the same thing to Crystal, who's on at night on Z100.
Yeah.
I've maybe only seen her 2 or 3 times.
I don't think your mic's on.
My mic is on. We're good. See that?
Oh, yeah. It does. I don't hear you in my headphones.
That's okay. Well, your headphones are usually pretty low.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, this is interesting. We got B-Delp says we need more Diamond on serial killers.
No.
What do you?
There's a lot of people saying your mic, they can't really hear you and it's echoing.
Check.
Okay. You need to talk close to it.
All right. It's the same microphone though. I know
That's
it's
weird.
not ours technically because I left ours at home, but
So yes, I listened to Serial Killers podcast. I was telling Diamond, she said sometimes I get really loud. She was warning us about,
yeah.
I was like, I know, I listened to you when you barge in on serial killers. And she was like, you actually listened to that podcast?
Just because it's Scotty. Who wants to listen to Scotty all day long?
can't.
I can't do it.
Scotty is one of my favorite humans.
I know. Me too.
I spent a lot of holidays with him when I would be running the board for Elvis' show and he would be running the board for
you
Z100.
did that?
Oh yeah, for a long
man.
time. I mean, there were I think 4 Thanksgivings that at some point in the day I spent with Scotty, and then I think 3 Christmases, at least.
Mornings.
Black Friday, like every year.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
That you could spend
Just-
that amount of time with Scotty. I'm
Generally,
like
there was a
losing
piece
it.
of glass between us, so we'd like wave, talk for a little bit, take our breaks.
Oh, but it was soundproof then. You know, the studios aren't soundproof
That's
now.
true.
We sit right next to each other,
That
and I
is
hear
crazy.
him all day long. I'm like, Scotty, shut your mouth. I can't
So-
take it.
But I feel like also though Scotty, so keep in mind, I started as an intern in 2009.
2009?
He started with Elvis,
I started the same year with Elvis.
Same
in
year.
09.
09. That was,
You know, I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
That is insane.
okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to keep in mind also, 14 years ago, Scotty was probably a little bit less
Cooler.
grumpy than he is now. He was still grumpy.
He
a little cooler.
Scotty has always been a grumpy old man, though.
Really?
The
Yeah.
difference, though, is I think
He actually
his
is now.
grumpiness goes up exponentially. There's not like it's not like a steady curve like most
Yeah.
old men just get grumpier just like by a percentage factor every year.
No, he's
He
like
like
60 now.
skyrockets.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
But I love him.
Wait,
Oh,
a minute.
yeah.
Did I miss this? Run Like a Husky said, what is everyone calling him now? Hottie B? Is that a thing?
Oh, people are calling him Hottie B, but I don't know why. I thought it was something that people were calling him for years.
I've never heard this before.
I call him and Josh Hottie because it makes them feel uncomfortable. Like, you could see it on their faces. I'm like, hey, Hottie, and they're like blushing. It's so cute.
Getting Josh to feel uncomfortable is a lot of fun too.
It's the best.
It's pretty easy too. Well, not so much anymore, I feel like. It was easy when he was like new and he was like, this New York place is so weird. And now he's like,
Oh, you guys missed his grumpy phase.
oh no.
Oh, you had it too?
I lived with Josh.
No.
Yeah,
I
lived
did
with
too for a
Josh
few
and
months.
Sam.
I crashed their apartment for like 3 months.
Why?
Why
You
did
live
I
with
want-
Josh?
Well, he lived with them for years.
Yeah, I lived with him the longest. Got him to move from Brooklyn to Jersey. He never thought he'd be in Jersey until
We
he came
convinced
and
him.
visited where I was living in Jersey City.
Oh, I'm upset with you.
Yeah.
You're the reason why I didn't have anyone, or I still don't have anyone to carpool with in the
Yep.
morning.
Oh.
It's true.
It's Anthony. Now I know.
That was probably 2014 when Josh moved to Jersey City. 2013
I don't know.
ish.
I'm not good with years and dates. But I did want to go to, and we cut Diamond out of the scene for a second.
Oh, the list.
There's a couple things. One, Diamond had a bunch of questions about us moving here that I don't know if we've ever really answered. When we moved out from Elvis, because like we were mentioning, Diamond is currently in a position that we used to be in on Elvis's show. And we like that being part of the off-air team, the mostly off-air team on Elvis's show. And there were some of the questions you were asking.
Air. That should be a podcast you guys all do.
Oh.
But that would be like,
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take it.
no, that would be like the opposite of almost
Most
on
on air, but
with
mostly-
Erica and John.
Oh.
Because they're not really on air.
They are a lot, though. Anyway, not a big
All
deal. I had you hold off on some of the questions you were asking
Yes.
us before we got on the show. So what were some of those questions you had for us moving out here originally?
First things first. You didn't really get a chance to like pick where you were going. So did you know about this city before you moved here?
I had been here once for essentially a long weekend, but it was also kind of a work trip with my friend's company. So we were taken around. I got to go to a Sounders game, a Mariners game, went down to Pike Place Market, did a lot of like touristy things. But that was, I think, 3 days that I was here.
No.
And it was in the summer.
For me, basically. So we got the call. We were told there was an opportunity that they wanted to speak to us about. It wasn't like, hey, you're moving.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. So we get on the call, and our future boss at the time was like, it's an opportunity out in Seattle. And I've just recently told the story. I literally, we're on a call. It wasn't Zoom, thank God, because no one was using Zoom in 2015. And I open up Google Maps, and I'm like, where the like not connecting where Seattle was. And I was like,
All the way across the country.
I said, that's far to Anthony when we're on this call. He's like, yeah. Then they flew us out here for we're supposed to be like a whole day and like a dinner to meet people. Still before, like this was still our interview process. Because of a missed flight issue on my part, we were truly only here for dinner. So I didn't see Seattle in the daylight
We got
because of when our
here
flight left.
At what, 8:30 or something? And we
And we were
left
out
at
by like
7 in the
5
morning?
a.m. Yeah, it was January, so it was dark around the clock, basically.
Yeah.
And we were like, all right. And we moved here 5 weeks later.
That was it. So even with like apartment hunting, we didn't really know anything until we got here. They put us up in a hotel for a week. We then paid for another week of a hotel that we split. And then Carla Marie was in her first apartment. I got one across the street, and then Carla Marie moved into the building that I was in.
Yeah, because
it was much cheaper than the one that she originally.
Because I just like jumped on something, the first like normal. Although we looked at like 12 to 15 apartment complex. Like it got to a point where I was just like, I'm done. I just need to like start my life here. I've been apartment hunting for every day around the clock.
So did anyone say to you, do you know what you're getting into?
Yes.
Couple people.
Like work aside, because like having your own show is like insane,
That's what it
right?
was.
Like that. But like, you're going to a whole new city where it rains every day. I like.
So we've talked about this.
funny.
It's a little different. Our families were a little different in this regard because my family, like my mom and my dad, moved from overseas.
Oh, okay.
So they were used to the idea, or at least familiar with the idea of just like sometimes you just got to pick up and go.
Yeah.
You know, they moved thousands of miles to get to where they are today.
Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't that big of a deal, and we have family all over the place. So
Yeah.
traveling for my family wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't happy to see me go.
Right.
Right. But
No, I just dealt with I don't understand why you're leaving New Jersey. I still deal with it 7.5 years later, so it's been fun.
but it's also because your family, you're fourth generation New Jersey.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's whatever. But when it comes to the city, no, like it's not like Austin, right, where we know about it. And even like we also have to think about, granted, it wasn't like the 1800s, but it was before you could learn about cities on TikTok and Instagram Reels. So it was like, oh, yeah, there's all these cool restaurants that I know about. It was just like, I knew nothing about the city other than from what I read from Twilight, knowing that Forks, Washington was nearby.
Yeah. You weren't learning from Instagram. You were just seeing people put pictures with frames on them still.
Yeah, it was bizarre. So when we moved here, our first week here was at that time, the rainiest week in Seattle history. And it was pouring all week.
Oh my gosh.
And we just assume, we don't know this yet, we just assume it's going to be raining around the clock. And we're like, all right. But then we're at a grocery store. I was at a grocery store. I remember texting you, I'm like, people are complaining about the weather. Like, isn't this just what it is? We come to find out that most winters here, it doesn't like rain. It's just misty, foggy, and everything is wet.
Huh.
And then the summers,
They're gorgeous.
I never check the weather.
I missed everything.
I never check the weather. I just know it's 75 and sunny.
Oh.
There was a question from Martha, though, for you, Diamond. Did I miss why Diamond is visiting Seattle?
That's part of the Explore America
Well, let's
conversation.
get into it.
Okay, cool. So, out of nowhere, I think this was last year, I realized like I'm spending money on things that are just like material items and like whatever. And I just was like, I need to like experience things.
Was there a collection? Was it like clothes? Was it
sneakers. I was doing too much. And I like, they're cute and I love sneakers.
Any chance you're a size 11 in men's that I can
Oh
get
my
a couple
gosh,
of
I
mine?
wish. Are you kidding me? Stick a few socks in the front. But I was like, I just want to see the world, but specifically see America, because when we went on, me, Gandhi, and Andrew went on the Off the Grid trip, and we were like driving through the country, and I'm like, there are so many cities that I haven't seen. Like we stayed in, where did we start?
Well, you started out
San
west,
Antonio.
Right? Yeah. Oh,
So we were in Texas, and I see the Riverwalk, and I had no clue that there was anything like that anywhere. I'm like, this is cool. First of all, I got to go back because that was like, really cool.
That's one of the places I've never been yet. San Antonio.
You have to go. Because like you sit down, and there's just a river right there next to you, and everybody's drunk and like walking down the street. It's the best. But yeah, so I'm
Okay, now we've got sound, we've got video, we've got internet. Diamond.
Please don't go back and tell everyone Elvis
is the
Show what a
best thing
shit
ever.
show this is right
Listen,
now.
we're still making it.
We're here. Okay.
So you came to Seattle because
the coffee.
The coffee. Because specifically of Starbucks?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so every city has something that I'm like, if it's on my list, I'm like, I have to see it. So like Chicago's next.
Okay.
I want to see the Bean, even though there's like
It's
a
like
new
dirty.
small tiny. You're kidding.
Well, like
talking
everyone
about?
touches the bean. It's not.
Oh,
it's
I'm not
like
gonna touch it. Just like
no,
the
I
gum
mean
wall.
it's not shiny. Like you think it's
still pretty shiny.
If you don't
talking
catch
about?
it at a moment after like they buff it, it just looks like there's gross ass fingerprints all over it.
It's
Well, I
worth
have until
seeing. It's
next
fun.
year.
Go.
Because I'm not going to Chicago if it's not the summertime. I'm
No,
not doing
do
it. I'm
not.
not doing it.
No.
Throw out another city. Oh my God, I'm blanking.
But this is so you decided I'm gonna stop wasting money on material things and I'm gonna explore.
yes.
The best
I'm
decision you
excited.
can make. And I saw some people in the chat saying that I very much lived in the same bubble that like my family lived in of I was just starting to get out of it of like I want to see places, I want to do things. And then we moved here and we started learning that people on the West Coast travel differently than East Coasters. Like
Really?
I still haven't been to Maine and New Hampshire and I grew up in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I have literally 8 states left on my list now. I have 90% of the states I visited were in the last 7 years.
It's
Really?
interesting too because on the East Coast, you would imagine it's so much easier to travel between cities because most of those big cities are closer together,
Yeah.
right? Like DC, Philly, New York, Baltimore, Boston. They're not that far from one another. You can just pick up and drive.
Yeah.
But I feel like people travel between cities on the West Coast way more. Like
Yeah.
everyone goes to either a San Diego, Las Vegas, LA, San Francisco, Portland. Like it's just more customary here for
It's
some reason
weird.
to travel between cities
Wonder
on the coast.
why.
I don't
I don't know.
because
I-
the idea of having to get out of New Jersey and travel in any of the traffic to Pennsylvania or New York or Connecticut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you could also just get on a flight.
Yeah.
There's 3 airports, get on a flight and go anywhere. You know,
a flight to Vermont is like 12 minutes and $50.
what?
It's not 12 minutes.
What did you say?
Add that to my
I
list.
flew from JFK to Vermont, and it was $50.
Oh yeah.
Was it really 50?
No, I swear to God. Well, that was in 2015. Who the hell knows what it is now?
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, back when the Wright brothers invented flying. So you've done San Antonio.
Yes.
You're here in Seattle.
Yes.
What's the next one? You have it planned yet, or you're just kind of seeing what happens?
So my sister and I are talking about Chicago, but that's not going to happen for a while.
Okay.
Arizona's on the list.
Cool.
I've been to Phoenix.
So it's my favorite.
Really? So I need to go back. So me, Andrew, and Gandhi stopped there.
Okay.
But it was pouring.
Oh, okay.
Like, I've never seen
That's
rain
crazy.
like that.
Like full-on monsoon.
Oh, my God. Andrew, I've never seen Andrew upset. That was like, he was there. Like, he was about to lose it.
Because
okay?
he wanted to be in the sun?
No, because it was just pouring, and he was we had the big RV, and we were trying to find a place to park it. And, like, he couldn't find anywhere to park it. It was terrible.
That's
and
tough.
I, like, missed, like, the climax of it because I got out.
Yeah.
But, like, poor Andrew. So I have to go back because the next day everyone was like, yeah, that rain wasn't normal, whatever. No. I'm trying to think. I want to go to, like, a lot of the mountains. Like, I'm into it right now, especially, like these little, these aren't even hiking sneakers, but they're gonna push, okay? I have boots. I do, but I just don't know if they're... I don't know.
What don't you? Are you like scared to put them on?
Like, I'm just like, I
Are they
heard you
not
have to
cute?
break them in and stuff like that. And
Listen, if you were going on like a 50-mile hike, I would say yeah. But if you're just going on like a small hike here,
yeah,
you're
2
fine.
miles max.
You're fine.
Okay,
You're
Wear whatever you want.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, what's another city
I mean, there's a lot of them.
that I really want to go to? I recently
But
went
I
to
love
Dallas.
this, and a lot of people will,
Same.
even though they live in America, a lot of people, when they think of travel, they think of going international, which is still great. Like, you should
Yeah.
also see other places in the world, which is something I'm going to talk about later. But I think people take for granted how large America is.
And how
Yeah.
different
exactly how
it is.
different it is from city to city. I mean, DC is wildly different than Philly. Philly is wildly different than New York. New York is wildly different than Boston. And they're all within 4 miles of each other. And then you go out to a place like Cleveland, which gets a bad rap a lot, but it's one of my favorite
Cleveland's so
cities to
cool.
go to.
Really?
Oh,
A
Cleveland's
lot
awesome.
of a lot of our chat right now is from Cleveland, and they're like, you have to come to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to Cleveland.
You
Well,
have
see,
to.
Josh is trying to get me to go
Yeah,
there.
that's
I went with Josh.
Really?
So it was
Yeah.
me, Andrew, Josh, and Sam. I drove the three of us out there. Josh was already there. It was 4th of July weekend. And beautiful city, awesome bars, awesome food,
Wow.
terrible sports teams. But other than that, a lot of fun.
He's trying to get me to go out there when the Jets play the Browns.
That'd be
right?
fun, though.
He's been telling me that I need to come for the past few years, but it just so happens that it's always like a really cold month.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Cleveland in
listen.
December after the things that Josh has told me about
I
how
agree.
cold it gets.
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
doing that.
That's
I
rough.
think people in Cleveland would also tell you not to go there
Oh
in
my
December.
God. I can't deal with the cold anymore either.
Most
so.
of the cities, unless you're going to do like snowboarding or something, most of the cities are probably better to visit in the summer.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to
you could do
Colorado.
That's awesome.
I did Phoenix as a solo trip.
Whoa.
I really, really wanted to do a solo trip. This was like probably 2017. And on my way back to New Jersey for Christmas, I stopped in Phoenix for like 2-3 days. And I stayed there and I did a hike by myself.
By yourself?
I was just like, it was one of like the most mentally cleansing trips. I met
Really?
up. There were some people that I knew in the city. So I kind of planned meals around that. So I wasn't just like
Oh, okay.
completely alone. But I stayed at Scottsdale, Camelback. It's this fancy resort that like I look at the price now. It's so insane compared to what it was. And it was expensive then. But I was like, this is my gift to myself. I'm doing this. And it was like this spa resort. And I like sat there in my little robe and I went to the restaurant there and then I hiked and I met up with like 2-3 people for meals and like that was it. It was in and out. I think about that trip once a week.
Really?
Yeah. Because I loved the area. I've been there twice since, but it was so cool to do it by myself. So at least one of your cities.
Okay.
And
you should.
Fred the Mailman wants you to know that everyone is welcome in Cleveland.
Oh, I love that. Thanks.
There you go. This is a great way to get to the second thing I had on our list today, which is geography is hard. And I got to go back to this scene. There we go.
God, no, not the frozen one.
So one of the things I realized in the past couple of days, and I'm going to pivot. I know I'm going to bring up what happened in Palestine and Israel very briefly, because that is the catalyst of what I'm about to say. But a lot of people are posting different memes and infographics about things from that part of the world. And I realized, granted, my family's from there, so I probably understand the area a little better.
Yeah.
But I realized how mysterious the Middle East is to a lot of people. A lot of people don't even know there's multiple countries. They just think the Middle East is like
a country
thing.
I had to explain to my family that the Middle East is several countries.
Yeah.
They're not, and it's a little different than like where America's huge, Canada's huge, right? It's
like Europe. There's a lot of small countries that border
Yes.
one another, and they're very different from one place to another.
Yes.
And the interesting thing that I found was there's a lot of infographics, and Israel is a great place. It is a place where there is a democracy for most of the people there. They have freedoms that some other Middle Eastern countries don't have. But I've been seeing people post things like, oh, well, Israel's the only place in the Middle East where women can vote or drive. I'm like, that's not true.
Right.
It's the only place where being gay isn't illegal. It's like, that's also not true. Now, that doesn't mean that in some places in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia, women actually can't drive outside of like American complexes. In some places in the Middle East, being gay is illegal. But it's weird how we've allowed kind of media to dictate what we think of this entire very different part of the world. And it goes to what you were saying, Diamond, just knowing that there's other things out there and traveling and seeing how people live and seeing the beautiful, like the other thing people think about the Middle East is like the whole thing is a desert. And there's nothing to see or do. It's just camels and sand dunes.
Which we will be seeing camels.
There
and
are
sand
deserts and there are sand dunes. But there are also deserts and sand dunes in America.
Yeah.
Like that's not what makes the Middle East unique.
If you go to a state fair, you'll probably see a camel.
Yeah, that's true. The Meadowlands State Fair. Didn't they always have a camel?
Yeah, I rode one there.
Yeah. It's going to be very different.
Meadowlands State Fair.
It's a different
Jersey
name now. Where at MetLife Stadium, that fair.
I've never heard of this a day in my life.
Oh my God,
Oh,
we
it's
used to go
huge.
every summer
I'm so
as kids.
Brooklyn. It's like insane.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about how Carla Marie is like fourth generation
New Jersey.
How long has your family been in Brooklyn? Do you know? Like as
yeah.
far as you...
So my mom's family, oh, well, my grandparents moved to Brooklyn from South Carolina.
Okay.
And like they met in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So my mom and my uncle were born there, but my dad is from Honduras. So yeah, so he moved to America when he was 8.
So that's interesting because I'm fully like a first gen kid, like both of my parents. What is... You're technically first gen as well. You're first generation
like
American on one side.
Yeah.
So you're like 1.5 gen or something.
How does that work?
I don't know
How
it works. Because it is a different experience when you grow up and your parents aren't from a place, or you grow up and your
But
parents
your
have
dad also
accents.
moved here very young too.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's the same. My mom moved when she was 9, so she's for the most part American.
yeah.
Every now, sure, her accent has come out later in life
yeah.
somehow.
Does your dad have an accent?
No.
That's crazy.
No.
How old was he when he
He
moved?
was
do you know?
8 when he got
Okay,
when he
so
came here. And he's the youngest of the family. So my aunts, they're all like stacked up 2 to 2. So like I don't know, one is 2 years older than him, one is 4 years older than him. They still speak Spanish fluently.
But your dad doesn't.
Henry does not speak Spanish. It's insane. Like he couldn't teach me Spanish. So
Is he
I
the
can't speak
youngest?
Spanish. Yes.
Yeah, he's the
it's like-
youngest.
That was like my youngest uncle Simon. He knew Arabic and like he could understand my grandparents, but it wasn't the strongest. Like all of his siblings had stronger Arabic than he did.
Your dad?
No, my
Sorry.
Uncle Simon. My dad's Arabic is great, except we've learned later in life that yes, my dad's Arabic is great, but he also grew up in Lebanon, and again, it goes back to people not understanding like different pockets of the Middle East. Lebanon was under essentially French rule when it was created as a country in the early 1900s. And because of that, there are a lot of French schools in Lebanon. So my dad also spoke a little bit of French, but we never realized how much the French language infiltrated Lebanese Arabic. And there are words that we grew up thinking were Arabic words that we found out later in life were French words.
Wow.
And we never actually knew the Arabic like translations
That's so
to things.
cool. Things like that are really
But Jordan,
cool.
where we're going on Friday, is right next to Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, they're all in the same area, but that was a English protectorate, so they have English schools, which is why a lot of people in Jordan will still speak English as well.
Which is great for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be,
hold on,
from
Diamond.
everything I've heard, it's pretty easy to get around there with just English.
People are asking, do you eat how do you say that?
I don't know.
Oh, so
I feel like so.
Is that what you said?
pupusas.
Pupusas?
I guess it's Honduran.
So this is the thing, right? I feel like my family is just very weird. There are things that like Hondurans do and like words that they use that like my family just uses completely different words to like say the same thing. So like people say tamales,
Yeah.
but my family calls them tamales. So like there's always
Interesting.
this like I think it's like the region in Honduras
Yeah,
where
I'm
they
sure
were raised
there's-
and stuff like that. So
There's got to be different neighborhoods and different like sections of Honduras that do things differently.
yeah, tell me what that is. Can they?
We
Made by
Which
Erica?
I'm
Can you tell me
assuming
what
based
it is?
on
gotta
what
be
you're what you've told us that you are not fluent in Spanish.
Oh, absolutely not.
Because that was one of the questions.
That is so embarrassing. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
I don't tell people that that my dad is Hispanic because I don't speak Spanish. That's the first thing people ask. Oh, can you speak Spanish? I'm like, no. I try. I have Duolingo.
Has it worked at all?
Kinda. Like, kinda, but not really. It's, ugh.
Yeah, I tried it for Arabic for a little bit, but the other problem with Arabic is there's so many different dialects and it's
Yeah.
written differently than it's spoken. So it's like, it's a really hard language to learn.
Yeah. I'm going to try.
But
That's always been on my list. Like, oh, this year, I'm going to learn how to
do you
speak
have a
Spanish.
family member that can like walk you through it? Obviously not
Oh,
your dad.
absolutely.
But
Like my aunts, I used to get in trouble in school. Well, my dad used to yell at me because I would call one of my aunts or I'd call my grandfather like, hey, can you help me with my Spanish homework? My dad made me do like other languages instead. He said I was cheating. But I
Well,
could have learned more.
Yeah.
Or you could have just cheated your way through it and not learned anything.
He knows
True.
his kid.
And just so you know, I took 6 years of Spanish and I didn't learn a damn thing.
That's a papusa.
I've never tried this.
Let me see.
Can you send me a
It's a
screenshot? I'm going to
thick-
send it to my aunt.
Griddle cake or flatbread from El Salvador and Honduras.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to take a
It looks good.
screenshot.
Is there cheese on there?
It looks like it.
Looks delicious.
Good, honestly.
How much do you want to bet that my aunt makes it every time I come? I go to Virginia to visit her, and I just had no clue. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
All right.
But it is. I love like exploring and exploring even like Honduran, right? Would it be the Honduran culture? And like, have you ever been there?
No.
That's something you should do. And
I know.
But I also know, just like being Middle Eastern, there are times where traveling to certain parts of the country can be unsafe, or certain parts of the world can be
There's
unsafe.
a lot going on over there right now.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I mean, same, right?
Yeah.
Being from the
Oh,
Middle East.
yeah.
But when things do calm down, especially if you do know people who are still there, if your family has relatives that are still there by any chance,
Barely.
it's always good to try to link up with them. Like, I'm going to meet my mom's cousin in Jordan, who I didn't know existed until like 3 weeks ago.
That's so cool.
And I'll now have like a link to that part of the world that I
Yeah.
can lean on if I ever want to visit again
Yeah.
or whatever. But I would definitely suggest going at some point if
I
you
have
can.
to. I have to. We
That'd
had
be
a
cool.
family house. My grandfather recently sold it. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, you weren't going to go anyway. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, we're trying to plan a huge family trip with all
That
of
would be
us.
cool.
We'll see.
That would be awesome. That's one of the. That's basically one of the reasons we're going to Jordan. Is my mom, my dad, my two brothers,
And
and significant others, and my aunt are all going over there because my mom has never. We've been to Lebanon twice, which is where my dad is from. We've never been to Jordan. That's where my mom grew up before she moved. So we're gonna be able to see like her house that she grew up in.
That's so cool.
This,
Yeah.
the places that she went to, and obviously a lot has changed in the 50 years since my mom's been here. But it's going to be a really cool experience, and I hope that's something you get to do
Yeah.
at some point as well.
Erica just said, can't diamonds not eat a lot of stuff?
Yeah, I'm allergic to a lot. Wow, Erica, you know me. Hey. Yeah, I'm allergic to a lot, but I've just been trying things, and
Just seeing what
like, I
happens.
have Benadryl on me at all times now.
Okay,
I
but
got
you
yelled
have
at
like
the other day.
where my allergy, I'll get a little dizzy and my stomach will bother
You
me.
get dizzy?
It depends on the food.
Oh no.
Peanuts and kidney beans
Really?
make me super dizzy.
Are you allergic in a way that like you'll die?
That's what I was.
Oh, my throat gets, I say stuffy. It's never completely closed, but I can feel like a little
Swollen.
tightness. Yeah, like I feel it a little bit. Thankfully, it's nothing, it's never been anything too crazy.
Okay.
But,
You don't have to walk around with like a pen.
well,
or
I
anything?
have one.
Oh, you
I don't
do?
walk around with it. I got yelled at the other day because.
By whom?
Elvis. Yeah.
Good.
Because I don't walk around with it. I need to. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, YOLO. What are you gonna do?
You should keep one at the office at least.
Yeah, I know. That's what. Do you know how expensive an EpiPen
Yes.
is?
I actually have no
they're
idea.
insane.
Oh my, they're so expensive.
Really?
Yes.
And it's like a
And you're
one-time
like,
use
do I
thing,
really
right?
need to use it right now?
yeah,
It
like
is a one-time use thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't be jabbing yourself every
you have
day
to
with
think
it.
about it. Like, am I really? Is it that bad?
That sucks.
for me to like, because I'm gonna have to buy another one.
How much are they?
They're like, so with insurance, they used to be like $50.
Okay.
Now they go up to like hundreds and like $500.
That's insane.
Is it
For
worth
one-
my life
No.
or
No,
That's
I'm
crazy.
like, whatever.
Here, Heather on Long Island, did I miss this? Is Diamond staying with you? We didn't even know Diamond was going to be here until 2 days ago.
Yeah.
No.
So I was like,
But no, she is not.
so we were trying to
She
figure out.
could, by the way, you could have,
Yes,
if you ever want to
but
come back, you can always
hold on.
stay.
There is a big but here. So I was telling her we have a crazy week. Let's try to meet whenever. And I was like, actually, do you want to come to the studio? And she said, I would love to. I'm really allergic to cats.
I thought the studio was in the house.
Listen,
it was.
until July.
And I was like, yeah, you're not getting out of this one. Our studio's not in the house. We almost even took one of the cats here on Sunday. And I was like, let's wait till after Diamond comes. I don't want
Well,
to make
thank
the studio.
you for that, because I'm like, number one, I'm allergic, but I'm also terrified.
Okay.
I am petrified of cats.
Really?
And dogs?
I don't. Dogs, I'm just like, okay, just stay over there. Cats, I can't even look at on TV. I don't know. It creeps
That's
me out. I don't
excessive.
know why.
What is cat phobia?
But
Philophobia
look
or
at John,
something?
man.
I can't do it. Since when did you get a black cat?
I have 4 cats.
Yeah, but I thought they were like, see, this is how you know, because cat content I scroll right past, right? So,
My whole feed. You would never use Instagram if you had my account.
Well, I feel like John also, the black cat,
This is
has
all
the
for.
least amount of pictures because it's hard to take pictures of black cats.
100%.
is it really?
Yeah.
Why?
It's a big thing where you ever see, well, you don't see the memes, where it's like cat owners be like, oh, look at my cat. And it's just like a blob of black on the floor. He don't, his nose is black, his mouth is black. So he just looks like
Oh,
eyes.
you just see the eyes.
And for some reason, light, it's like a thing amongst cat owners. It's like
Really?
really hard.
What's this with 4 cats? I don't get it.
It's a great question.
Are you okay with this?
Listen, I like 2 of them. So
You're a jerk.
I really like one. The other 3 I get along with for the most part.
Trying to find a good,
It was kind of an accident, I think, right?
yeah. You know how like people accidentally get pregnant? It's kind of like that same situation with all my
I
cats.
think that's different. I think that's very different.
Okay, I know that you fostered.
Yeah,
2,
so,
right?
I
I remember
fos-
this story.
I fostered Caroline and Max 6 years ago. And I never had cats before. I was like, cats are weird. I don't want cats. But this rescue we were working with on the air needed fosters. And I was like, I'm going to help them. These kittens are cute, whatever. And then I fucking fell in love with the little shits. Even gave them back to the rescue. We had to travel. We were going to Chicago. And I was like, I can't watch them. I'm leaving. Someone take them. And then I came home from Chicago. I was like, wait, I need to adopt them. And I got them back from their other foster. So I decided to keep Caroline and Max. Then I go, 2-3 years, I foster again. They get adopted out. Then 2 summers ago, I foster a litter of 4. And they told me they had so many cats, they were like, I don't care, you just name them. It has to be something pop culture. Caroline and Max were named after CBS, 2 Broke Girls that showed. And I just kept the names because they were my initials. It worked out. They were like, you can name these cats after whatever you want. So we named the litter of 4 after Ricky, Jake,
No.
Erica, and John. They all had podcasts at the time. So we were like, these are the almost on air kittens and these are the 20-somethings doing nothing kittens. But they were all brothers and sisters.
Allegedly.
They were. Ricky and Jake actually got adopted together and went to this home, lovely home, whatever. Erica and John did not get adopted for like months.
Yeah.
So 4 months go by and I still have these cats and I'm like, I can't give them up. So now I have 4 cats. 2 of them are named after 2 of my best friends.
But like, why 4? Like, I get it.
That just,
But, like-
just happened.
4 cats
Just happened.
in one home.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like that big of a home.
I will say I was nervous when Carla Marie was like, I think I want to adopt these 2. And I said, listen, they're your cats. You adopt whatever you want. It's your house. You do whatever you want. And I thought it was going to be a bigger deal than it was going from 2 to 4. But it actually wasn't that. It's
crazy.
really not that different. Yes, there's 2 extra food bowls. And that's about it. Like it's kind of crazy how similar it is caring for 2 as it is caring for 4. I do want to say one thing though, Jen, or at least I don't see it now. but one of them pinned a comment that said you should check out Good RX or
Oh,
EpiPens.
yeah.
Okay.
For the EpiPens. There's something else, too.
A Mark Cuban site. What is that?
Yeah, that's what I was
Does
thinking
he sell
of.
EpiPens?
I don't know, but what is that
I have to
called?
check.
His is
Oh, my gosh.
Mark Cuban.
I just watched an interview with him talking about it, too.
The hell
Thanks,
is it
Jen.
called?
His is Cost Plus Drugs,
Okay.
which could not sound more generic.
And less cool.
It's like, oh, we don't need to go to Toys R Us for your Barbie. We could go to Cost Plus Toys
Yeah.
and get it instead.
Mark does not have EpiPens yet.
Okay, so yeah, Good RX.
Good
But yeah,
RX.
so for cats, it's a time. There's always someone getting into something.
Which is, I'm glad you brought that up, Carla Marie, getting into something. Because we've talked about our special guest. We've talked about how
Oh.
geography is hard and how exploring is
It's
something
important.
that everyone should do at some point if you can. Penny eating kids is something that Carla Marie wanted to talk about. Kids eating pennies.
So back in the summer, Anthony's mom broke her arm.
Oh, yeah.
He took her to the ER. He was there with her. And he's casually telling me this like 2 weeks ago that I knew his mom broke his arm. He's like, oh, yeah, when I was at the ER with my mom, I overheard in another, because it's all like curtains, in another room, this kid ate pennies and the dad was there with him. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, what do they even do for that? Like, what do you do? He's like, I don't know. It's like, how old was the kid? He's like, I don't know. He's probably single digits. And I'm like, well, yeah. Because 10-year-olds don't eat pennies.
I think they do.
And he's like, I don't know. I think the kid was probably 9. I'm like, you do not know how old children are.
I just know that's not true. I just think that all children are stupid enough to eat pennies.
So he's trying to tell me that he thinks a 9-year-old
Ate a penny.
would eat a penny.
And listen, there are a lot of parents in the chat right
Yes.
now. I guarantee you someone's 9-year-old ate something stupid and
No
had
way.
to go to the hospital.
My mom ate a penny.
How old was she?
I don't know. I don't know. But there's no way she was 9. Probably like 6.
That makes sense.
What's the cutoff for
I
eating
think-
stupid things?
I think 7.
7
is
is
the
the
last
cutoff?
year of your life.
Yeah, has to be.
Let's see. Becky from Miami said yes. They put everything in
Becky,
their
we need
mouths.
an age though. You don't get to say that. we need your honest.
Lenny thinks 9 is too old.
Way too old.
I think it is too.
What else do we have in the chat? Okay, Jess from Minnesota. I have a 6-year-old, and he never ate or swallowed anything that's not food. Let's
That
knock
you
on
know
wood there.
of.
Yeah.
Oh, but Becky said her daughter's 10. So, Becky, when was the last time your daughter put something dangerous or ate something dangerous?
Okay, Becky said that her 10-year-old normally puts bottle caps in her mouth. Yeah, but that's like
yeah.
I definitely did that too. You just chew on a bottle cap.
Yeah.
You never eaten one?
No.
But a lot of people swallow pennies not on purpose. Like my
Hey.
mom swallowed it and she was like playing with it in her mouth. Like just like
Yeah, but I think
she
how
swallowed
things
it.
happen.
So maybe you can be 10.
I
or
think
No,
you
9.
can.
guys.
It's not on purpose. They're not like I don't know.
Also-
Plus, at some
man.
point, with boys at least, you get to an age where people are like challenging one another to do stupid things. So I would say there's maybe like
the thought of
a
putting
downturn.
money in my mouth.
No, I would think there's
Yeah,
probably like,
disgusting.
if you're looking at the trajectory, the age of kids, right? It's like, oh, they're just weird little blobs that are eating and putting everything in their mouths. Then that drops off, right? Because now they understand things.
Yeah.
But then, at least with boys, you get to a point where it's like, oh, now they're just being idiots on purpose.
Yes.
Ugh.
And they're challenging each other to do stupid things.
Run Like a Husky said TikTok and kids at school daring them. Maybe it was a dare.
See?
Do we know if it was accidental? Like, what did you hear?
I don't know. My mom was in the hospital, Carla Marie.
I
wasn't
would have been like,
I wasn't
hold on.
concerned
I
with
would've
this
been.
child.
Because my question would have been like, all right, are we taking this out or are we waiting for it to come out?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, you have to poop it out.
Okay, but
Yeah, that's gonna come out.
Yeah,
It's fine.
you have to. And they made my grandparents like every time my mom went to the bathroom, they made them like go through it.
yeah, like I have to do with Erica
is
because she ate a string.
Oof.
What? A string?
Oh, here we go. My stepdaughter is at 5 swallowed a quarter.
Ooh, that's big.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
5 makes sense. I
Taken
will
to the
accept-
hospital. Okay, and
Becky, what's going on with your kids, man?
A great question made by Erica. Where are people finding pennies? That's true. I
Yeah,
haven't seen a
right?
penny in a long time.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a national shortage of pennies?
I have some at home. Do people need them?
So maybe it's
I'll
because
sell
you're stockpiling them.
They pulled the quarter out with the balloon thing.
How did
How does it? Oh, do they shove a little balloon in there and then blow it up?
I?
Can we Google this?
This sounds like
it's something I don't want to see. Yeah.
This is what you should show your children so that they don't eat coins.
Yeah.
This is what you should
insane.
show people who are thinking about having children and say, is this something that you want to deal with?
Like, imagine your kid just coming to you casually. I ate a penny. And like, what?
Exactly.
A Foley balloon catheter? But that goes in.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. 2 pennies were were on my dining room floor this morning, and I almost threw them out. I decided to leave it on the counter for my 7-year-old. To
eat for breakfast? Don't do that. What does that feel like going down your throat?
Apparently, Z from NYC said pennies taste like blood.
I definitely feel like I have given a little taste.
What?
Like you put a coin in your mouth to see what it tastes like, and they 100% taste like blood.
You've done it?
Yeah.
You know, money is like the dirtiest thing.
I said that already. I haven't done it like in a few weeks. It was like when I was a kid.
And you remember?
I definitely remember the taste of pennies.
Oh my God.
How?
Like I bit it, probably.
I also couldn't really tell you what blood tasted like.
I definitely could tell you. It's metallic, kind of.
When? How do you?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
When I cut myself. You never really... You never suck on your finger if you cut it or something?
I think so.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah.
But like,
Maybe
enough to get a taste?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's enough.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe my cuts are deeper. I got a lot of blood. It's...
Are you like a hemophiliac?
No.
Where you just bleed a lot?
You're like shocking me right now.
Welcome.
Okay, 100% I know what pennies taste like. I don't recall why. I'm assuming I like bit one once to see.
Apparently, according to Maria in Omaha, the pennies taste like IPAs.
That's fair. IPAs are gross, but yeah, I don't know.
Let's see.
Vicky said, we were in the store the other day and my 5-year-old put the security tag thing in her mouth.
Oh.
I was horrified because she was way past the put everything in your mouth phase, but she said she thought it was a whistle. That's still not okay, but I'm glad at least she isn't behind.
Well, the security thing doesn't it also have like a pin in it?
I guess it depends what kind we're talking about.
Like I'm thinking the clothing security tag, it like clamps
Yeah.
on clothes, right? And there's a pin in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you see now they're putting like, you see the ink in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like,
Yeah,
do
but
it.
those
I dare
still
ya.
pop off just as easily. You don't crack them. But I used to have friends, and it's the same principle that before there was ink in them that you would use now, is you take a rubber band and you circle it, you keep wrapping it around the pin area,
Yeah.
and eventually that rubber band starts to expand,
Uh-huh.
And it pushes
and it pushes it out, and it opens it.
I had
What kind of life were you living?
No, I had, it was
know.
like Macy's or something I ordered years ago in the mail, and one of them came with it. And I was like,
Oh.
Yeah.
and I think I did it it was like the night before we were leaving for like an iHeart festival or something.
That would have pissed me
Probably
off.
not Macy's, but one of them.
There's got to be other people that have hacks in the chat, too, like outside of the rubber band trick to take those tags off. You know what's crazy? So I had a varied group of friends growing up. But my friends from high school, for the most part, Ridgewood is like a pretty well-to-do
Yeah, they don't really
town,
eat pennies.
right? It's
save
not.
them.
It's not a place where you think people have to like steal to get by, right? When your dads are the presidents or CEOs of like huge companies. But there was a girl I went to high school with. Her name was Meredith, and I like if you saw this girl's house, you're like, there's no way this girl's a thief. And she was the biggest. I think she just did it for the thrill. She would
That's
go to
very
the mall.
possible.
She'd go to Garden State Plaza and just steal everything.
I
Everything she wore was
Could not.
stolen.
I
I'm
could
terrified.
not.
I stole one thing on purpose.
I was
Like everything
5.
else is just like, oh, like you're doing the checkout and you like
The gum.
nail polish or
Yeah.
something like that. And you think about it afterward. I stole an oatmeal pie from a store when I was in junior high school, and to this day, I still feel bad.
What
Officially
store?
The worst
It was just
thief
like a
in
corner
America.
store, like it, like you know,
Does
randomly.
it still exist?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to drive by.
Go just give them $5.
No, too late now. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
statute
keep my
of limitations.
Also,
Yeah.
an oatmeal pie was probably like 80 cents then.
The last thing that I can remember stealing, again, I was a kid. I stole, do you remember the gum that came in like a beeper?
Yes.
It was like
I
a
do.
plastic, it was like a clip type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what, I was at the supermarket with my grandfather, and I knew he wasn't going to buy it for me, and I just put it in my pocket. And that was it, and I was out.
What if you would have gotten caught with your grandpa?
You would've
He would have
beat
beat the
your
crap out of me. I would have gotten a slipper right to the head.
That is so funny.
But yeah, I very vividly remember like feeling like a criminal walking around because it was early in the trip. It wasn't like I did it on the way out. I had this thing in my pocket for like 30 minutes. And that kind of pressure on a child, I mean, I don't even know if I could sweat from my armpits at that point in my life, but I definitely was. I was just disgusting.
Yeah, I was 5 or 7, and I stole a greeting card. We were at a store. It was probably like a Hallmark store because my mom bought me a toy. I will never forget the toy. It was a shovel for my sandbox, but it was also a little like water gun. So you could squirt it. And I guess my older sister was graduating, probably cosmetology school around that time. And I was claimed that I took the card because I wanted to give it to her. But once we got out of the store, my mom was like, "What is this?" and realized I stole it. And I was like, I don't think I got hit, but I got like so much trouble. I wasn't allowed to play with my toy shovel.
Did you take it back?
And I think she made me take it back and give it to them.
I remember one of my brothers.
Never stole again.
Since I can remember this, it was probably Justin. And I think he was he was probably 4 years old, my youngest brother. And he just took something from a store. Probably didn't even understand what stealing was at the time, right? And I remember my mom she walked back in the store with him with the item in his hand and made him tell the person, like, "Oh, I took this and I didn't pay and give it back."
Store owners must get that all the time with parents, though. You have to.
Maybe not today. I don't know. Do people return things still? Like, I'm sure someone in the chat, again, a lot of parents in the chat.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone's had to deal with this kind of recently.
Oh, here we go. Heather on Long Island. My daughter took a candy bar in Epcot. I didn't realize it, and I went back to pay for it. They saw it happen, and they had already written it off.
Yeah, there's like, all right, that's gone. Screw it. Oh, you want a great one? Yeah. My brother, Michael, the middle one, is, I believe, still banned for life from Six Flags Great Adventure in Jersey. And he was put in their Six Flags jail.
What?
He was a teenager. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in high school. And he was at Six Flags, obviously.
On a field trip, right?
It was like some group trip. I don't know if it was through school or whatever, maybe our church. And there was like a ring. He was in one of their shops. And there was a ring that he had put on just like talking to someone. He had it in his hand, put it on, was like spinning it around. And then his friends left. So he kind of ran out. He, I believe, brought it back on his own, and they still threw him in Six Flags jail and called my parents.
Oh, I would have been pissed.
Yeah, is Six Flags still open?
Yeah.
People go there?
Yeah.
The safari's open?
This is the best time of year to go, too. They have Fright Fest.
Yeah.
Remember we like did and that was our last endorsement at Z100, or one of our last ones was Fright Fest.
Fright Fest?
Yeah, they paid us to go down there, ride some rides.
Yeah, don't do the scary thing.
Hated it.
Oh, but you guys are doing...
Oh, Danielle's Hall of Scream.
I saw this.
I'm terrified.
So explain what it is for everyone first.
Okay, so Danielle came up with this amazing idea to go to Blood Manor.
I've been there.
I've never been.
It's fun.
Terrified. I hate Halloween. I hate things like this. I'm terrified.
So Blood Manor is a haunted house.
Yes, a haunted house. And members of the show are going to be scaring
patrons.
Yes.
So you'll be the zombie. Why are you scared?
Because just like very dark places to me.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
Me. I don't like it. Like,
we did it at
Oh yeah, we dressed up as zombies.
But what is it? Not a farm crop.
It's like
a maze here.
Corn maze type haunted house.
And they dressed us up in full zombie makeup.
Yeah, they're doing Danielle's like, yeah, it starts at this time, but we have to be there like 2 hours earlier for makeup. I'm like, this is real.
Yeah.
You know how you scare Scotty and it's so funny, whatever? Yeah. It's that same thrill.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll like that.
It happens.
Also, I love being in character. Like when you get to, because you're not going to be Diamond in there, right? You're going to be a zombie or a ghost. Like it's so much fun to be like, you know what? I'm going to take on this character, and that's just what I'm going to... Like, when we did the zombie thing...
I'm going to find art.
I was, like, breathing different. I was talking different. It's so much fun.
I don't know. You saw they scared me last year.
I don't think I saw this
Last year, they had someone come up from Blood Manor, and it just so happened that I got stuck in the elevator bank all the way in the back. Do you remember that part of the building? All the way... Like, that secret bathroom past KTU.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Fredo.
Yes. And I got stuck back there, and I was like calling everyone. I'm like, please, can somebody just open the door for me? Whatever.
You were genuinely stuck in the elevator. That wasn't like something someone did.
Yes, okay. I was genuinely stuck back there. And I was like, can someone come and get me? And they're like, yeah, just hold on. As soon as they said hold on, I had like put it together in my head. Like I knew the people were coming up. I was like, oh no. That woman opened that door. I've never
I vaguely remember seeing this.
So, oh my
I gotta watch this video.
God. And you know it's just a person.
Yeah.
But it's still
Is it?
terrified me. Oh my God.
I want to go back to the stolen toy thing for a second.
Sure.
Lenny from Queens said, when Brooke was younger, we went to Toys R Us and she had a toy that her aunt had given her. When we left, she had a different toy. And I asked her where she got it. She told me she liked that one better. And I had to return it, and then we had to go look for the original. That's a smart kid, though. Like, I'm just going to upgrade.
I want
Yeah,
this one.
kids are amazing.
Hey, where is Maris Farms? That's where we went. Where in Washington?
Auburn? It's near Auburn. I don't know if it's actually in the city
Look,
of.
Diamond, these are all the places in Washington I've taken photos.
That's so cool.
Oh, Z from NYC, Diamond, said that they are going to be at Blood Manor.
Oh, can't wait to scare you, Z.
That is
Let's
going to
hope
be
that.
so fun.
You guys should come.
I wish. It's October.
24th, 23rd, 24th.
Nah, we'll probably be living in the Middle East by then. Because
Why do you think we'll be living there?
we don't have a correct flight home.
That's
at the
true. We
moment.
still have Turkish Airlines has given us some problems trying to change our flight because originally we were supposed to go to Jordan for about 7 days and then to Israel and Palestine for another 4 and then fly out of Tel Aviv. Obviously, we are cutting that part out of the trip. Jordan's still totally safe and fine. But they're not letting us move the Tel Aviv flight without a bunch of change fees, which are like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Because according to they're like the only airline that hasn't moved a lot of things around. They're doing it kind of like piecemeal, like day by day. They're like, oh, well, today, if you have a flight between the 17th and the 18th, you can move that without a change fee. And they just moved it up today to the 23rd.
And ours is the 25th. So we're just like, we leave Friday. So we may leave here with not a return flight.
But I'm going to call again. And listen, their customer service people have been great. There's just not a lot they can do. Although yesterday was the first time I've dealt with I'm pretty good at listening and understanding people with accents. Yesterday was the first time this woman was on, and
She was so
the whole call was great. And I was understanding she has like a pretty thick Turkish accent. And everything was fine. I understood everything she said until the very end. There were like 3 sentences she kept saying over and over, and it just wasn't computing in my head to a point where I was like, I'm just going to hang up. I don't know what's going on here. And instead of calling it a website, she was calling it an online page.
Yeah.
But she was also saying it with an accent. So not only was it the accent, but it was a word grouping that I wasn't used to. But other than that, they've been great.
Yeah. They've all been really nice. This is when we were zombies.
That's you?
You got to show the class. Oh, Maris Farms is in Buckley. Thank you, Jordan.
Show the camera. Anthony.
There we go. I can't bend my hand like that.
It was so fun.
That's
was a lot of fun.
creepy. See, I don't know. I
You're
don't
gonna have
know
a good
about
time.
this. We'll see. We're going to do it. But
Did you like do any acting or like theater or anything
No.
growing up? Yeah. I didn't
No.
either, but
Really?
Yeah. Like, Sam bothers me all the time about this.
yeah, but Sam's like a theater girl. Went
Yeah,
to
like
theater
she'll
high school.
randomly, like, someone will say something and she, like, starts singing a song and she's like, you've never seen the play, have you? I'm like, no, I've never seen the
What
play.
was she singing, though?
The
only thing I would
That's
know
a
is
weird
Hairspray.
question. You know Sam.
Yeah, but
She, oh my
Like,
gosh,
give me,
this
does
was
she know
very
a play?
recent. And then she, like, brought it up to Elvis, like, Diamond didn't know this. I'm like, yeah, because...
is it if it's like not Mamma Mia or Hairspray, she can't give you crap about it because those were movies. Also,
I'm trying to think.
But
I don't
again,
know.
Sam
I
is
don't know.
like there are theater kids, right?
Oh,
who
Sweeney
did-
Todd.
I wouldn't
Something
know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know it.
Thanks.
Although it was a movie.
Isn't that the something about a barber?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fleet Street. There's
yeah,
a song.
some song. Oh, they'll never hurt you or something like that. I'm like, Sam, please. Okay.
But again, Sam, like there are some people who are theater kids in their regular high school. Sam went to like a performing arts high school.
Yeah, no, she's into it.
She's like a whole different level
of nerd
above a theater nerd.
She'll just start going. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, not into it. Not into it.
What's Sam doing for vacation?
Yeah, why do you guys have off this week? This is like new.
I don't know. I don't ask any
Yeah.
questions. I love it.
Homer Simpson out of that building.
So I love this. Someone just wrote Diamond with a bunch of exclamation points. Sorry, I just joined the live.
Hi. What is Sam doing? I don't know.
I haven't spoken to her. I gotta
Probably
check.
just
Oh, another good question from Claire. How long are you in Washington?
Oh yeah, what is your-
Until Friday morning.
damn, you got a whole week here.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think you
Friday
need-
afternoon. Yeah.
You need recommendations. What do you
Come
do?
on, give them to me. So
So you're staying
the
in
rain
Belltown,
is-
right? Where is she staying?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like right by Pike.
she's
Pike
in the
Place.
Belltown area.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna do the Space Needle, but my sister is like, we need to be able to see something.
Yes.
Yeah,
you know?
so I would watch the weather. Don't buy your tickets until
Tomorrow afternoon, they're saying it's going to be like better. But I'm like, everybody's going to be there. You know what I mean?
No,
During the week, you'll be fine.
Hey,
Because
okay,
it's today's Tuesday. Yeah, if it's tomorrow, you'll be fine.
Okay, so we're going.
Sorry, you're gonna want to go Thursday according to this newest weather
No,
forecast.
Thursday is the day that we're going to
Rainier.
Yeah.
If you can only do one of those two, definitely do Rainier.
Okay. So, Space Needle. We're gonna do that 3-pass thing,
Space Needle, Mopop, and
we're trying to figure out that
Chihuly?
she wanted to do like the boat cruise thing. My sister wanted to. She's into like the little get on a boat.
No, the
just
cruises
go
are cool.
wherever.
yeah, but what?
So
You have to choose 3 things.
you have to choose 3.
Out of what are
I don't know.
Where did you buy these
Another
tickets?
museum. We didn't buy them yet.
Chihuly is cool. The Glass Museum is cool.
Okay.
Mopop Museum is also really cool.
So yeah, we're gonna have to go there.
You will. I would. For you, I would say go to Mopop. It's all like pop culture, everything.
Okay.
I'm glad you brought up Mopop. We were actually there last week. The Sounders, our soccer team here, was doing an event. They were launching their new logo.
Oh, cool.
After 50 years, they rebranded, blah, blah, blah. Then they opened up the rest of the museum so that people could just walk around. And they have a really cool, like, hip-hop, 50 years of hip-hop, like, display right now.
Oh, that's cool.
It is, but it threw me off. So I grew up as a big DMX fan.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're familiar with DMX, most of his lyrics are not things that you would expect to see or hear in a museum. And I walked in and I got by the DMX display.
What'd it say?
And they're playing the music unedited. And I was like, whoa! It's like, it's weird when you hear certain hip hop songs out of like your general context.
Yeah.
Like your headphones, your car, a club, whatever. This was in a museum.
Public space.
And he is talking about some shit.
X gonna give it to you.
X gave it to me hard. It was
In your ears.
Oh, now I have to go.
Yeah, Mopop
it's
is really cool.
It was such a weird experience just
Yeah.
to hear. I mean, listen, I grew up listening to all of DMX's music, but then to hear it in that setting threw me for a loop.
That is hilarious.
I don't know what the boat cruise thing is, but if you can get on a lake here, do it. Because
Okay.
it's so cool. It's just such a cool way to see the city.
Yeah.
Because you're like still in the city, but you have a view of it. It's a good time.
Okay. I'm thinking
do
about.
wish it was sunny
I
for
heard
me.
that there are like 2 games tonight that I'm like, okay. I've never been to a hockey game, but apparently tonight is like the big opener.
Okay.
And there's a preseason basketball game that's tonight.
Oh, that's right. They do.
WNB.
Wait,
Oh, we have. Wait, they
It's
can't
like-
both be.
Yeah. Oh no, at the same place? No. Okay.
usually
Well, maybe
our
my days are
basketball
wrong.
and hockey stadium are the same.
Oh.
Hockey's definitely there.
Okay. Tonight.
where they could
Seattle
be.
So
basketball.
maybe the game is tomorrow, but it's like 2 teams that aren't from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't have a men's basketball team because the Sonics left years and years ago.
Yeah, man. What is
We're
that
still bitter about it. And I wasn't
Wasn't
even
Kansas
LeBron
City, here we go.
drafted to them? Or no?
Kevin Durant.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Durant played here for 1 year. Then the next year, before they moved, so he was technically drafted as a Sonic. Russell Westbrook was drafted as a Sonic, but he never played in Seattle because then they moved to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
But our WNBA team is pretty
The
sick.
Rain City Showcase.
That's what we call it. Rain City.
October 10th, it is today. NBA preseason. Where are they playing?
7
it, though?
p.m.
At Climate Pledge.
Okay, so then when is the hockey game? There's no. So imagine we just found the schedule.
That will be cool, though, to see the Jazz and the Clippers play.
Yeah.
And that arena, it's renovated. It opened like 2 years ago. It's
Yeah, this is
sick. And
Really?
it's an Amazon. So Climate Pledge is, if you're shopping on Amazon Prime, do you ever notice it says like Climate Pledge?
No.
And it means that like that item, when you order it, it's like all these levels of approval in the world of
That's so
sustainability.
cool.
So like how they're shipping it, the packaging, whatever. Climate Pledge is like Amazon's thing of what they're trying to do with products. So they named the arena Climate Pledge Arena.
Cool.
Everything in the arena is like you don't use a credit card. It's all Amazon walkout.
Well, you can use a credit
You
card.
can't.
Yeah, you can. I've used a credit card in there. I've been there and I've used a credit card.
Maybe it's tap to pay.
They have tabs.
But there's no like register. There's no.
Now that drives me a little
It's
insane.
wild.
That doesn't scare
For the
me.
record, the Kraken are also playing tonight in Las Vegas. So if you'd like to go.
So why would this? Okay, I'm about to get pissed off because this guy told me that the game was here.
It is not.
Well,
it is
okay,
very much
cool.
in Las
Are they
Vegas.
not here at all?
I just
That's
looked it up.
hilarious.
And actually, I just noticed as I looked it up, Claire mentioned they are home tonight too. Oh, and it's me, Meech. October 10th, best day, my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
So you can be part of our tradition.
She can't hear.
Oh, you can't. Well, give her a headphone. Stick your ear gunk in her ear.
Chairs are squeaky.
There we go.
Yeah, the
Meech,
Kraken
happy
aren't
birthday.
home till this weekend. Love you, Meech. You're the best.
Well. Damn, it's 9:20 already.
We started late, so
We did start a little late. I was trying to fix some cameras to like get everyone in the shot.
it worked.
And this is what we're dealing with today. You know, the studio is still a work in progress. What do you think of the studio?
I love it.
Cool, thank
This
you.
is so cute.
It's so
I don't like
tiny.
the word cute, so let's change it.
Yeah.
Beautiful, gorgeous.
Innovative.
Yes. I'll see. Like,
I don't know if it's any of those things, but I do like
Colorway's
it.
fun.
Yeah. Love it. 10 out of 10.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being our first official guest.
Oh,
Isn't that crazy?
I couldn't be happy to have another guest. This is great.
This is very exciting. I love what you guys are doing.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you.
Diamond, if people want to follow you,
Diamond Sincere on everything besides Twitter. We already know the story. If you don't, some woman won't give it to me. I'm very pissed. And her name isn't even Diamond Sincere. That's what pisses me
so
off.
what did she?
I don't know. She's just whatever.
She picked 2 words and was like,
Yeah.
Or
this
did
is
she-
I'm like, her name is like Ruby. What are you doing? No, it literally is like Ruby or something like that.
She just wanted a different
Yeah, I
gem.
mean, I'm sick of calling her a loser because I don't know, whatever. So I'm just gonna say this woman. You know, she pissed me off.
Isn't
anyway.
there's a Carla Marie out there, right? Somewhere, and she's like a basket weaver.
So when I went to get Twitter in like 2009, Carla Marie was already taken. And this is that woman's name. CarlaMarie.com was like basket weaving.
Okay.
And then Carla Marie is just a random person. And I, at the time, was like, all right, I'm just going to put because my dad, his boat was called the Carla Marie because he thought I was going to be his last kid. And then they had my sister. So the Carla Marie was his boat. I was like, I'm just going to do my Twitter, the Carla Marie, after the boat. Yeah. And then I just have now had to do it everywhere because I never just got Carla Marie. I'm the Carla Marie. But her Twitter for the longest time was, I'm not the person on the radio.
No.
It was the day I noticed that was like, I've made it.
That's funny. Thank you to Claire for putting Diamond's Instagram in there. Make sure you give her a
Claire.
follow. Make sure you tell her how great she was today. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Oh my God, thanks for having me.
And
Scare Scotty for us
Oh,
next
I
time.
will.
And give me a shout out when you barge in on serial killers, please. Thank you.
Oh yeah, it's going down.
you got a big cereal, a spoonhead. What do you call them? What are they?
I don't know.
They don't.
Do they call?
They
oh my
don't.
God,
They
stop.
need
They
to.
need to.
Like,
should.
we should be spoonies. The awards shouldn't be spoonies.
You could also be spoonies. They could be one and the same.
Yeah. Okay.
To anyone who supported the stream today, thank you very much. To everyone who jumped in the
Thank
chat,
you.
we appreciate you. There is a new episode of the Morning Show podcast available wherever you get your shows, and we'll be back here on Twitch on Thursday. Peace
Peace out.
That is so cool.